Well, it seems like small peanuts, but I got my first furring strip up. And the reason that it's a big deal to me, I guess, is because I've never done it before. I had to learn how to use my new Rivnut. I got all these different sizes, and so there was a little bit of a learning curve, but we got it, and man, it's solid. And I'm loving Rivnuts already. So this is my Rivnut gun. I actually got it free. It costs about $80, but I do online surveys, and I did one, I don't know, a month ago, and they paid me $100 in an Amazon gift certificate. So this is what I bought. But this is the tool, and this is the Rivnut. And what you do is you screw it on, and there's a tension setting for mine. It tells you what tension to set this to, what compression ratio. And then you actually open the arms and you make sure that this is down all the way. And then, you know, you would put it in the hole and then you squeeze it. And if you can watch this, it compresses. So now you can see that that's compressed, and if that was in the hole, it would have pinched it in there. So there we go. So that's how a Rivnut gun works. And this top part is called a mandrel. And my kit came with, boy, 12 different mandrel sizes. Each mandrel fits a different size Rivnut. This is the kit that I got. You can see here's the tool. Came with a whole bunch of different sized Rivnuts. And it also came with a series of different size mandrels. I'm going to show you how I've been marking the holes for where the furring strips go. First I decided I wanted a center bolt, and then I'm using the one right in between these two, and same over here. So what I do is I take my board and I get it generally centered, and I got Play-Doh, and today we're using pink, and you just put it in these spots where you want it to be. And then we take our board and we get it centered, and we just press it up, and when we pull it down, we've got some really nice clear positions of where we're going to drill our holes. I'm loving Rivnuts. I had to set you down for a minute, and here's why. I think I'll share my lessons learned with you. If you're a first-time Rivnut tool user, this is probably a common mistake. So I'm going to spin you around here. What happened to me is this is loose. I don't know if you can see it, but it actually spins. So when I go to put my board in there, the screw won't go in because the Rivnut spins. What I think that's a symptom of is not having the gauge set right on the tool. What I did was I adjusted it up a little bit so that I can make sure that they're actually snugging in there nice and tight. Oh, I could hear a bee buzzing around in here, and so I opened up to let him out, and doggone it. Dang it, they're everywhere. We had one on the grill the other day. So I gotta go get wasp spray. Okay, back to work. So what I had to do to resolve this was drill a new hole. That one is gonna just sit up there, and I had to mark a new hole and put a new Rivnut in a different place. And that's fine. That's fine. Live and learn. 1, 2, 3 furring strips, and I have my third Rivnut that is spinning around. So I had to go back in and watch some more videos. This is what I learned. So here is the deal. What I was doing was taking a Rivnut that fit inside the existing holes, and they didn't fit tightly, and the next size up didn't fit at all. So I was using the smaller one. Well, when I went back and watched the videos, what I realized is that you actually need to drill the hole to the size of the Rivnut that you want to use, because it needs to be snug in the hole. So even if I took the Rivnut tool and turned up the tension so that I was crimping it tighter, it still could have a tendency to spin because it's not meeting the edges of the van on the cylinder side, if that makes any sense. So I'd say there's really two key points with rivnuts. You've got to have the right size rivnut fitting snugly inside the right size hole. You may have to drill that hole. And the other challenge is if you do opt to set up the tension to try to make a rivnut fit in a hole that's too small, you have the chance of stripping the threads. And when you go to put your screw in, you might not be able to screw it in because you've had the tension too high and you've pulled too tight on the threads of the rivnut. So a couple of things to watch for there. And then lesson learned, things should go a little faster from here now that I understand a little better about what I'm doing. I have been trying to use rivnuts where I can, and I've been pretty successful down on this bar and this upper one, but just went out and bought a pack of self-tapping screws that I'm going to start using. So just a hex head, self-tapping screw, because I'm drilling holes in the van and that just takes forever. So I think rather than do that in some of these spots where I don't have holes, I'm just going to drill into the van. I know there's pros and cons to that. I'm going to get shards in the van, but I'm also getting shards in the van when I'm drilling. So I'm conceding a little bit today. That's what it boils down to. I want to have some progress. I have a bag of Thinsulate scraps, and what I'm doing now is just tucking them into these holes before I put the furring strips up. So I'm just working some insulation into the holes. I'm just getting ready to put some spray foam into this area up here. I will be running some wires through these, so I don't want to block those holes. But I'm getting ready to put a furring strip up there, so I just want to make sure I hit this area and just get it insulated real quick. Looks good. I need this board to flex with the sides of the van. This is the back of it, so what I'm going to do is just use my skill saw at a real low level to cut some slices so that it's able to bend. And I've got a line here, so here on up is where I want to start. So I'm just going to do a bunch of slices. Okay, I'm going to go check the fit. So I'm going to be putting this in here, and I'm going to be putting screws up here and screws down here. And that's a lot of tension down here. That feels a lot better to me than when it was not cut. So we will try that. And all those nice cuts just help it bend. Perfect. If you made it this far in the video and you're still here, maybe think about subscribing and leaving a like. That helps. But just some final thoughts on installing furring strips. It seems like it could be a pretty simple job, but again, like many other things, it requires a lot of thought. You have to look at your plans. Where do you need to put vertical bars so that you're supporting maybe a full, floor to ceiling closet? What do you need for your shower? How are you going to fasten your cabinets? Where do you need those pieces of wood? How are you going to frame out your windows? There's just a lot of things that you have to think about other than just putting up, slat walls or something like that. You have to think about where you strategically want to place your furring strip. So anyway, it was probably not my favorite effort, but I got it done, and it was a helpful effort. I think I thought through where I needed things, and I can always add more if I find I need another spot. Thanks for watching.